Hey guys, it's Chris from SurviveNnThrive. Today we're going to be going over a knot called the sheep bend. Not to be confused with sheep shank. It's called the sheep bend, as in a sheet of paper, not the animal. The knot will look like this. Make sure it's in frame so you can see it a little better. What this knot's used for is it's used for attaching two pieces of rope that are different diameters. As you can see, I have one. This one's about the thickness of a magic marker or a Sharpie, and this one's maybe a little thinner than a pencil. And as you can notice, it makes the rope longer, attaching two pieces of rope, and it won't slip out. It's actually a very similar knot to the bowline. If you look, it has the same structure, just no loop. So it's not going to slip on itself like the square knot would if you tied, as in a previous video I showed the square knot tying two pieces of rope with the same diameter together. I'll show you why you don't use the square knot for different diameters right now. Just as a little introductory video. Oh, as you can see, it's already slipping on me. Okay, so I've tied our square knot. You got the tail ends up, the loop coming over, loop going under, and if you push them together, they're like that. So we're going to pull this tight, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the thin end in one hand and the thick end in another, and I'm going to pull, and if you notice, my little rope starts feeding right through the bigger rope. The only reason this one didn't slip completely through is I have the end melted, so it makes it a little thicker and it has something to grab a little bit. So I don't advise it using the square knot to attach two pieces of rope. Use this sheep bend, and I'll show you how to tie that in just a second. Okay, so to tie the sheep bend, we have our two ends of rope. We have our thick end over here and our thinner piece of rope over here. So what you're going to do is take the thick piece of rope, and you want to make a bite in the rope. Now a bite is when you take the rope and you make a loop in it, or a bend, just like that. That is a bite. Now to tie the sheep end, almost called it a sheep shank there, you want to hold it on the side with the tail end up. You're going to take your thinner piece of rope and, like a bowline, you're going to feed it through the loop here, just like that. Now with the tail end you have in your hand, you're going to come around the two parallel pieces of thicker rope here and pull it under, so the tail end is now behind the two other pieces. And now you're going to feed the thin piece of rope back through itself, just like that. And then you're going to grab the two thinner pieces of rope in one hand and the two thicker pieces in the other. And now you're going to grab and pull tight. And what this will do is create your knot called the sheep bend. Now if you can see how it looks, you have your tail end where you were tying right here, and that will come up through the top of the way you're holding it. You'll have a loop coming around through here that pinches where you just finished tying through, and another piece of it looping back around, so it's all one loop. Almost looks like the bowline on this side without the loop. And then you'll have your two tail ends upward. But now to test that you tied it correctly, you can take the thin piece of rope, wrap it in your hand here, and the thicker piece, and now you can just pull. And this shouldn't slip or come undone no matter what you do. And now you have successfully tied the sheep bend. Now I'm going to show you how to tie it one more time, a little faster. Okay, so we have our two pieces of rope, and now what we're going to do is we're going to create that bite in the thicker end. Oh yeah, forgot to mention this. You're going to want both tail ends of the rope. The side of the rope you want to make longer by attaching the thinner piece of rope, or the thicker, whatever. Now take the thicker piece and you're going to make the bite in the rope, just like I showed you before. Now turn the bite sideways, so your tail end of the thicker rope is on the top. Taking your thinner rope, you're going to go behind the loop and come up through it. Hold on, mosquito is biting me. There he is. Okay. So you're going to come up through, I'll repeat that since the mosquito rudely interrupted and he's coming back for more. You're going to make your loop much like this, actually exactly like this. Taking your thinner piece, you're going to feed up through the bottom, like under the bottom piece of your bite and over the top piece of your bite. Just like that. Now you're going to take your tail end and it's going to come around the two parallel sides. Come back up. Oops. Come back up just like that and come through itself, a little thin piece of rope. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab the two pieces of thin rope over here and the two thicker pieces over here and pull tight. You can slide this up to make it tighter. This loop right here. Take your fingers and just pinch it towards the top. As you pull, if you really want to tighten it, just grab this one piece of thin rope and the thick without the tail ends, and that will tighten it up even more. I'm sorry, I gotta itch my elbow. I got like mosquitoes eating me right now. I need to go get some more cedar. But okay, so now that you have the sheep end, just test it. Make sure it's tied properly. And now that it didn't slip, it didn't go anywhere, I know I've successfully tied the sheep bend. Okay guys, so today we learned how to tie the sheep bend. That knot right there. And we learned about its use, which is for connecting, to make a longer piece of rope, connecting two smaller, let me rephrase that. To take a thinner piece of rope and a thicker piece of rope and connect them to make a longer piece of rope. If you only have available another thin piece and not something of the same diameter, and you need that extra length, you're going to use the sheep bend to successfully lengthen your rope with two different diameters. That's the catch here, two different diameters. If they're the same size or same diameter, you can use a square knot. It will hold the rope. Okay, so now that we learned how to do this, you can move on to the next knot in the video, or series, should I say. And if you have any questions, comments, anything on the sheep bend, feel free to email me, comment below. There should be an email in the description. It will be in all my videos that you can just email me. I'll get back to you within 24 hours if I can. I apologize if I don't. Questions don't, just another thing to throw out there, I don't say this in all my videos, but the questions don't have to be related to a video. If you have a question that I don't cover or haven't covered in a video yet, or something you'd like to see in a video, send me the idea, tell me, I'll make a video, I'll get right on it. Or I'll let you know that's going to be coming up in a series that I'm going to be doing later. So yeah, thanks for checking out my video, my channels, my videos, my channel. I think I pluralized the wrong thing there. So yeah, feel free to look around at some other videos, and I'll see you around.